Hi, I'm glad you joined me today. I want to talk to you a little bit more about seeds. And this book is called A Seed is the Start. Now you can even tell from the front of the book, the cover of the book, that this is going to be a nonfiction book and that the pictures are real photographs of real things. Melissa Stewart is the author. She wrote the words, and I think she also must have taken the pictures because there's no illustrator listed. All right. A seed is the start of a new plant. You can bury it in the ground, in the soil, and watch it grow, and grow. Get bigger, just like the words are getting bigger. Well, what happens when you plant a corn seed? There's a corn kernel into the dirt, nice and tucked in the dirt. The first thing you can see is it's starting to split open. And the next thing, a tiny root is starting to grow down into the soil. The next thing that happens is more roots are growing and it's coming up towards the top. It's sprouting towards the top, and this is going to eventually be a stem. The next thing that happens to our corn kernel, you can still see the corn kernel, can't you? But it's got more roots going down and a stem going up. And the next thing is that stem has made some leaves on it and more roots at the bottom. So that's how a corn kernel would grow. Well, a seed grows best when they have their own space. And that's why seeds have many ways of traveling to different places, new places. Now this is a little pine tree seedling. It's recently sprouted, but it's right there by its mama tree, right? And is it going to get much sun? Not much sun, because that big old tree is going to shade it. So when many sprouts are close together, when many new plants are close together, they will struggle to survive. And some may not get all the water and the minerals that they need. Like all of these won't survive because there's tall trees right there. So how do seeds go from one place to another? Well, some of them fly. Look at that, all those seeds flying out of there. The wind just takes them, that husk pops open, and the seeds fly away. Those little brown things are the seeds. The white things are like helicopter wings that take them away. Now this is a seed you might find growing in your yard. We sometimes see them on our playground, don't we? This is a dandelion seed pod. And inside this seed pod, there are hundreds of little seeds. And you can see that these are like parachutes for the seed, and there's the seed right there. And when you blow on that, or when the wind blows on it, those seeds can travel up to 500 miles. And then they settle in the grass or the ground and they form a new plant. So we know that seeds can fly. They can also spin and glide. Look, this seed looks almost like helicopter wings, doesn't it? And when the wind hits it, it goes up into the air and it can spin and glide. Seeds can also tumble. This is a tumbleweed. This is actually is full of seeds. And once it gets loosed from the ground, the wind will blow it. It's called a tumbleweed. And there's lots of seeds in there. In fact, it says here that the tumbling tumbleweed scatters its 250,000 seeds far and wide. That's a lot of seeds. The poppy, this is a poppy flower, its seeds can spill. This little thing right there is the seed pod, and when the poppy flower dries off, the red petals fall away, the fruit grows larger and larger. That thing in the middle is called the fruit. It dries out, and then when the stem sways in the wind, the seeds spill out onto the ground, creating more little plants that will bloom into poppy flowers. Seeds can also splash. Some seeds are planted near rivers or streams, and they can fall into the stream and get carried down that way, get carried to a new place to bloom. Seeds can float. Look at these little flowers. These are yellow irises growing in gardens. A lot of people love these flowers, but irises grow naturally in wet places. And after an iris flower withers away, a seed pod is formed. And if that seed pod gets in the water, it will float away. Well, that's pretty cool. Seeds can also drift. They can get into the water and just drift away into a new place, like in rainforests. That's how some seeds are made. Seeds can also pop. I like this one. See this little flower, this cute little pink flower? You'd never guess that this seed, this little flower, it's called a Himalayan balsam, can send its seeds into the world. And what happens when a breeze or an animal passes by, it goes pop, and the seeds pop out in every direction. Well, that's pretty cool too. We're learning lots about seeds here, aren't we? Seeds can hop and creep. Wild oat plants often pop up in wheat fields. And why do their seeds have this long bent tail? So they can move away from their parent plant. The part of the tail is twisted. As the wind unwinds it from its plant, the wind will catch that and it will blow it away. So those are ways that seeds can move. Here's another way. They can hook and cling. Sometimes seeds get stuck on animals or people or on our feet. Look, there's a little puppy right there. And that is a seed pod. And if the animal goes somewhere else and it falls off, that's how seeds get to a new direction. Well, that's interesting. Seeds can ride inside of an animal too, can't they? This bird is called a fieldfare. Can't resist eating these toasty berry seeds. Well, that's pretty cool. So seeds are also food, aren't they? Look at this one. Seeds ride inside out. Look, there's ants eating a seed. When ants find some seeds, they don't eat it. They pick it up and take it for a ride. So then when they leave it, it will grow somewhere else. Now this I have seen in my yard all the time. In the fall, gray squirrels collect hundreds of nuts and seeds. They carry the food to a safe spot. And during the winter, the squirrels eat some of the nuts and seeds. But they forget about others that they have planted. So in the spring, the leftover seeds sprout new plants. That happens. That happens in my yard. I'll see a squirrel digging in my flower boxes or my pots, and they'll have put seeds in there. And if they don't come back and get them, they'll sprout a new plant. Some people collect the seeds of plants they like, and they take them home and they grow them in their yards. Other people buy packets of seeds at the store, and they plant them in the garden. We talked about that today, how I like to plant seeds, and I asked you to try to find some seeds maybe at your house that you could plant and watch and see if it grows. That would be kind of fun. So let's read this last page here. If a seed lands in a good spot, it sprouts. There it is. And as time passes, the plant grows bigger and bigger, and now it starts to look like a young tree. It doesn't look like a tree here, does it? But eventually it will look like a tree. Then it grows into a plant that makes even more seeds. When the tree is old enough, it begins to produce flowers. And then the fruits develop with new seeds inside. This happens to be an apple tree. So apple tree has flowers, and then eventually it has apples. An apple tree can produce hundreds of apples each year, and each apple can have up to 10 seeds. So if all those seeds fell into the ground, think how many apple trees we would have. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So think about that. Think if you have some kind of a seed in your house that maybe you could take outside and plant in a pot and watch it grow this spring. That would be kind of a fun thing to do, wouldn't it? And remember, I sent home a craft that you could do, and this is a flower, and all the different parts of the flower, you can color it and cut it out and label it so that it looks like mine, okay? Thank you all for watching. I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye.